Most combat training gives you pieces. You get a punch, a kick, a drill. That is not a system. Here is how we build the complete architecture, mechanics, science, and processing into one unbreakable framework. You start with the data. UFC fights, special forces encounters, street altercations, all point to the same reality. About 80% of successful outcomes come from 20% of mechanical actions. The human body under stress defaults to a small set of gross motor, biomechanically privileged movements. You train the 6 core fighting skills: guarding, striking, blocking, parrying, grappling, throwing. These are not an arbitrary list. They represent every possible combative interaction. Your curriculum focuses on mastering the positions, actions, and presentations within these skills that align with this statistical reality. There is no technique inflation. You spend years deepening your mastery of what actually works, not collecting a library of what might. That is the foundation. Knowing what to do is pointless if you do not know why it works or when it will fail. Combat often gets shrouded in mystique, a realm of feel and secret techniques. You strip that away. The system uses 6 elemental categories: human, biomechanical, combative, processing, psychology, environmental. This is the periodic table of combat. Every condition, every technique, every outcome breaks down into these elements. You understand them through cause and effect relationships. This knowledge transforms combat from an art into a predictable science. You no longer guess. You calculate. You know why a parry works at one angle and fails at another. You know why your opponent hesitates. You adapt with confidence because you understand the underlying mechanics. A perfect technique applied at the wrong time to the wrong target is useless. The highest level determinant of success is not your body but the processing system that controls it. Conventional training cultivates a disconnected loop. You observe poorly, decide based on habit, and execute robotically. Each stage operates in a silo. You rewire that. From your first class, you train BSD, basic skill development. This forces precise self-observation and self-execution. You wire a reliable internal loop. The elemental framework gives you language for accurate external observation. You create an integrated, condition-driven processing system. You observe with elemental clarity, formulate using cause and effect logic, and execute with precision. You learn to target the universal vulnerabilities in your opponent's processing, inducing overload, confusion, and system crashes. This is where the architecture comes together. You have your deeply ingrained, automated mastery of the core mechanical skills, the one. You face the infinite variety of combative conditions, the many. You do not need a different one for each many. You use your elemental understanding to process the specific conditions, set a tactical objective, and select the appropriate application of your core one. A single, well-mastered parrying action applies in dozens of ways. You make minor adjustments to its biomechanical elements, angle, velocity, plane, based on the combative elements of timing and distance, and the psychology of the opponent. You do not memorize 500 solutions for 500 problems. You master one integrated system that generates the correct solution for any problem in real time. This is the totality of what makes training with modern combat martial arts different. You train the statistically proven mechanics. No wasted motion, no fantasy techniques. You gain access to the demystifying elemental science. You understand why things work, allowing you to adapt and innovate with confidence. You rewire your cognitive processing from disconnected to integrated. You become condition-aware and predictive, not reactive and hopeful. You learn to weaponize this understanding against an opponent's cognitive vulnerabilities. You win in the mental domain before the physical conflict is decided. You achieve a one-to-many competency. A small, deeply mastered skill set yields infinite adaptive solutions. You become efficient, unpredictable, and profoundly effective. Other schools offer pieces. You get the complete architecture. You do not need another technique. You need a system that connects mechanics, science, and processing into one framework. That is what you build here. Start with the foundation.